What's going on YouTube world? Austin Zay back here with another YouTube video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about all of the stimulus check updates we have as of May 19th. Okay, we're also going to be talking about the EIP cards as well as calling the IRS. We have a ton of updates in store for today's video. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the IRS has now sent out 140 million payments worth $239 billion via direct deposit. And unfortunately, as some of you may have experienced, the paper checks are taking significantly longer to process and actually get sent out and receive, which doesn't really come as a surprise to me, as I kind of saw that coming at the end of the day. That is just a lot of paper checks to get processed and actually get sent out, even though they were trying their best. Supposedly, it is especially taking a long time for those who did not have bank account information on their tax return or on their taxes. We're just going to go ahead and continue to go through all of the updates here, and I would really appreciate it if you haven't already to go ahead and click that like button, as it really does help me with the YouTube algorithm. So the Department of Treasury put out a release yesterday introducing economic impact payments, okay, and those are the EIP cards that we talked about in the beginning of the video. And according to the Treasury website, the EIP card recipients can make purchases, get cash from in-network ATMs, and transfer funds to their personal bank account without incurring any fees. They can also check their card balances online, by mobile app, or by phone without incurring fees either. The EIP card can be used online or at ATMs or any retail location where Visa is accepted. And Visa is pretty much accepted everywhere. I know there's a couple of other credit card companies that are not accepted everywhere, but for the most part, I believe Visa is pretty much widely accepted throughout the country. The cards will be going to 4 million Americans, and specifically those whose tax returns were processed in the Andover or Austin IRS Service Center. The Treasury's financial agent, MetaBank, is going to start sending out these cards this week. And although what we're seeing happen is still technically for the first round of stimulus, what I believe and what a lot of other people believe is that this might possibly be them kind of testing out the waters to iron out any kinks before maybe we see a second stimulus potentially introduced in somewhat of a familiar fashion. So I guess all we can really do for right now is keep our fingers crossed. And if you're watching today's video and you need the money, you need a second round of stimulus, then I'm hoping and praying for you that you get it. A lot of people are back to work right now, and we're going to go ahead and kind of talk about that here in just a moment, but we will see, and I do believe that everything going on right now is just very interesting overall. The IRS is also adding 3,500 telephone representatives specifically to answer field questions related to your stimulus check. So for you watching right now that wants answers on your stimulus check, you haven't gotten it, you didn't get the direct deposit, the check hasn't showed up yet, whatever the case is, there's literally been so many of you asking questions in the comment section below. This will hopefully help out, as now you might be able to actually talk to a real live human being, okay, which I know has just been a nightmare, and basically up until this point almost impossible. If you have a pen and a paper, go ahead and pull it out. I'm going to give you the number right now, and that is 1-800-919-9835. Again, 1-800-919-9835. Go ahead and write that down if you have any questions at all. That is supposedly the number that we're going to be able to call to get any questions answered that we need to. And they're still encouraging everybody to use the IRS's website, irs.gov, to answer any questions, okay? But look, There's going to be phone operators available now, supposedly. I've never been a big fan of just going on a website to the FAQ section. For me, it never really seems like they have my exact answer to my exact question, regardless of whatever it is that I'm looking for or that I'm searching for. So hopefully, if you've had questions up until this point, this is something that allows you to actually get your questions answered. So things are getting slightly more back to this kind of new normal, okay? I mean, several states are beginning to slowly reopen. I know that I live in Arizona and things are reopening, okay? We can go to the gym. We can go out to eat. We can sit down at a restaurant. Now, I will say that there's a lot of social distancing going on. There's a lot of people that don't get close, right? It's like you've got to be exactly 6 feet apart and you've got to use hand sanitizer and all of these crazy things. But what I'm seeing are things slowly starting to actually reopen. So we'll see how it all kind of plays out at the end of the day. I know there's other states that are not reopening, okay? And it is very interesting to see kind of what is going on in the political crazy world that we kind of live in right now. I will say it is at least a little bit refreshing to see people attempt to going back to kind of the new normal like we were talking about, rather than just staying inside forever. Look, if you're somebody that wants to stay inside, just don't go outside, okay? So if you're watching the video and you're like, I don't think states should be reopening, we should not be reopening, okay? I'm not going to get involved. Drop into the comments section below. I'd love to hear why it is that you think that. But ultimately, if you don't feel comfortable going outside into the public, then just don't. According to MarketWatch, fuel supplied to gas stations is down 17% from the pre-crisis weekly average, which is pretty crazy. Retail sales are down 9.5% from averages just over a year ago. Real estate isn't looking great either. I'm not going to lie. I do real estate. This is what I've done for probably 6 or 7 years now. I make a ton of videos on my YouTube channel about how to invest in real estate for beginners, how to invest in real estate for people that are just kind of in the middle, and also how to invest for people that are more of on the expert level. But real estate has definitely slowed down, and mortgage applications to buy a home are down 9.4%. TSA's average daily passengers compared to pre-pandemic were 2.1 million a day, and that is now down 98.8%, which is literally insanity, okay? These numbers are just crazy to look at. I thought that you'd find it interesting, so I figured I would just run through them really quick. If you're enjoying, again, I would really appreciate it if you would just, it takes like 1 second, okay? All you got to do is just click the like button. It helps me out a ton. But take a look at a couple of these other statistics here. As you know, a lot of companies have filed for bankruptcy. Let's go ahead and look at a couple of the major companies that you've seen or that you've heard of that have filed for bankruptcy over the last 60 or 90 days. Ultra Petroleum filed for bankruptcy. Whiting Petroleum, I probably pronounced that wrong, but they filed for bankruptcy. You've seen all the videos on gas, on oil, right? On oil actually going below zero. Diamond Offshore Drilling, okay, an oil company in Houston, Texas, filed for bankruptcy. Frontier Communications, a high-speed internet provider, filed for bankruptcy. Virgin Australia filed for bankruptcy. So supposedly the second largest airliner in Australia. Intelsat filed for bankruptcy. Unbelievable. The satellite service provider to customers in the media and government sectors. And just to run through the rest of them really quick that filed for bankruptcy, and that is CMX Cinemas, Gold's Gym, J. Crew, John Varvatos Enterprises, Neiman Marcus, True Religion Apparel, J.C. Penney, Stage Stores, and Dean and DeLuca all filed for bankruptcy. Pretty crazy times we're living in at the end of the day when you look at what is really going on and what has gone on over the last 30, 60, and even 90 days. I'm really interested to see what happens with the economy as things start to reopen, as things start to actually progress forward. I again, in no way, shape, or form get involved in politics, but I do like reading information about finance and about the stock market and real estate and people filing for bankruptcy and jobs and unemployment, because at the end of the day, those things impact everybody's bottom line, right? It just is so relevant and so important to the economy, whether you're just somebody that works a 9 to 5 or you're a business owner or anything really in between. These statistics and these things that are going on in the government, in the world, are really pretty crazy. I've done a bunch of videos recently on everything stimulus related. We've talked about a lot of the proposals over the last month or two. I did a video a couple days ago on the HEROES Act, okay, that was passed in the House. It has not been passed in the Senate. We'll have to see what happens with that. We'll see. It'll probably end up being after Memorial Day. You know, look, a lot of people don't think that'll get passed. A lot of people think at the end of the day that, some people think it'll get revised. Some people think that they'll go back to the drawing board, and that will kind of, the HEROES Act, this $3 trillion HEROES Act bill proposal will get rewritten, re-revised, and we'll see something else come out of that. And other people think, look, there's not going to be a second stimulus. Some people think, again, like we were talking about a little while ago with the debit card, that might be a hint towards another stimulus. And I think at the end of the day, we're just really going to have to wait and see what actually happens. I know, right? If you're watching, you're like, Austin, I don't want to wait. I can't wait. I need to put food on the table. I need to provide for my family, for the loved ones and the people around me. I get it, right? I hope that you get it figured out. And I hope for your sake, if that is you, that something happens, okay? If something doesn't happen, I'd hate to be a pessimist because I'm normally an optimist, but what I would encourage you to do is to seek out other ways to make money. I know that on my channel, when I'm not making stimulus videos, I talk about how to make money, right? How to save money, how to invest your money. And a lot of the principles and a lot of the things that I talk about are not incredibly complicated. They're very simple, easy to understand, step by step. And I think that you'll find a lot of value there. And I would just encourage you to go check out videos like mine. Figure out how you can make some money while you sit at home, okay? Figure out how you can ultimately maybe sell some stuff, make some money, figure out how to make money online, whatever that looks and feels like for you. If it isn't my channel, check out somebody else's channel. If you don't like me, you don't like what I talk about or what I have to say, I have no problem with that. Also, drop into the comments section, let me know why that is, but I encourage you just to get out and figure it out. I know these are crazy times that we're living in, but what I've found in my life is through some of the biggest trials and tribulations have come the biggest rewards, the biggest learning lessons, the biggest ultimate good outcomes, right? And you never understand it when it's happening. You only understand it when you're looking backwards in retrospect, okay? So that's just me. I hope that you figure out something. I hope that this season of life can somehow benefit you in another season of life. Let me know what other videos you'd like to make. I know that I've got a lot of great videos planned coming up. Definitely subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. I appreciate you watching. Let me know also what you think, what bill you think is going to get passed, what you think is going to ultimately happen. And until then, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.